Hey, welcome to the Because I Can live podcast. Oh, what a beautiful day it is today because I'm bringing in Savanah Polsen. Now, I've watched her over the last couple of years absolutely explode by selling a product that feels very saturated and almost feels impossible to sell in such a noisy world. Now, Savanah and I have actually known each other for about 5 to 6 years, and I remember when we first got to know each other, I actually asked her to come on and start posting on a blog that I co-own with a couple of my friends called How Does She? And I got to see her in action. And she wrote for us for a little while before she started diving into her own brand. So why I wanted to bring her on today was so that you can see what she did when her first thoughts were, can I even go out and do this on my own? To being able to create videos that have had millions of views. And now she's got over 10,000 paying customers. So you want to hear what Savanah actually sells? Makeup, hair products, and a little bit of fashion. Now, think about it. How many people do you know that have tried a hair, fashion, makeup, and don't really do anything with it? They just kind of fizzle out. So in today's podcast, Savanah actually talks about how she got the nerves to start on her own and then what she did to start separating her amongst everybody else. And then she actually tells us how she's able to serve 10,000 customers one-on-one and the technology that she uses to make sure that everything is organized and everybody has that personal Savanah touch. So get ready. It's going to be amazing. And at the end, I'm going to give you my top 10 takeaways and let me know if you took away the same things. And then also, I'm going to give you a link at the end to help you get color matched with your makeup. Now, some of you have been asking me for a long time where I get my makeup from. It's Savanah. Why? Because she looked at my specific skin and I had the Savanah touch. So I know that my makeup works for me and my skin tone. She's able to do this with all of her customers. So I'm going to give you that link. So if you want the best color matched makeup for your specific skin, I'm going to give you that link so that Savanah can help you. All right, let's dig in. Let's get started. All right, Savanah, you sell makeup. And makeup feels like a very crowded industry, but you've learned the secret of selling. Can you tell us this magic of selling? Like what do you do to be able to sell? So just give us a little snippet and then you got to tell us who you are and then we'll get back into it. So give us a little teaser right there.
Okay. So I feel like when you're selling something, it always has to come back to, are you passionate about it? Are you passionate about helping someone with something? Are you passionate about this thing for yourself? And then are you willing to connect the dots in a way? And I think for me, that's easy to do with makeup because it's something I'm passionate about and I'm passionate about helping other women with.
Perfect. That's a beautiful answer. Okay. So back it up and tell us how you even got started, because you weren't necessarily diehard diehard makeup. I feel like you did more of the fashion when you first got started. And then it's kind of evolved over the years. So back it up how did you get started in this?
Yeah. So actually it's kind of interesting. So I have a cosmetology license and I loved doing makeup and hair my whole life. And I did, my friends for prom and I did brides and all that stuff. And I did go to cosmetology school and got my license. And so I was doing that professionally for a while. So it really was where my passion was. But when I started creating tutorials online, I actually was a single mom for a while and doing hair. And then when I got married to my current husband, we just decided that me being home with my daughter was something that I really wanted to do instead of being in the salon all day. So I transitioned, but I felt like a part of my creativity was really lost in that transition in my life. So I started making tutorials to just send to friends to help them, like, hey, I want to learn how to do this braid. Do you know how to do this one? And so I'd make them a quick video, and send it to them. And so I started making them online and I actually met you in the hallway at a conference one time. And so
Not at Pinners.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe that's where I thought it was fashion, but it's never been fashion then. It's been
Well, kind of. So that was just easier to build an online platform with.
okay.
So
Okay.
I've always like loved hair and makeup, and then I connected with you, and you asked if I'd like ever done anything, online. I was like, sometimes I've made like a couple tutorials. So anyway, so I started doing that online and started making tutorials for how does she and stuff like that, and I really loved that, but I feel like it was harder to build that online, and I didn't have a lot of extra money to be buying new makeup products and all this stuff. So I started having companies reach out to have me model their clothes or, do whatever. So it was like an easier collaboration process for me early on to build. So I did do style and fashion. I worked with companies and I modeled for them. And then once it got to the point where I felt like I could start sharing, my products and stuff, because I actually could buy some, then I transitioned way back more into like what feels like home to me. So
Got it. And then your journey, I have loved watching it because when we met at Pinners, I was like, what? Why isn't she like huge? Because the way that you teach people how to do stuff, the way that you're so clear in solving people's problems, no matter what it was, I was like, what is going on? So yeah, you did come in How Does She and did a few things on How Does She, and then you started to branch out on your own. And how did you start making those tutorials? Was it just, did you do it on WordPress? Did you do it, just make videos and send it? Because we didn't have Instagram at the time. We didn't have Reels. How did you start doing that?
So I would film them. I had this old camera, and for Christmas, I went in on it with my in-laws, and I was like, we can share this camera, and that's all I want for Christmas. So I had this like super inexpensive camera, and I would film on it, and then I would upload it to like my old Mac, and actually ended up crashing like through editing process one time when I had a deadline for How Does She, and it crashed like 2 hours before. And so I had to go to my brother's house and borrow his computer. It's been a process, honestly. But anyway, so I had this inexpensive camera, and I'd film on that. And then I would use my old version of iMovie and edit that. And then I'd upload it to YouTube. And then that's how I would make the tutorials. And then I would embed that YouTube link into, the posts that I would make. But it would honestly, I think it would take me up to 20 hours, like in those early days.
Oh
just
my gosh.
make, like one tutorial. I just had no idea. I had no experience with video editing. I had no experience with cameras. I had no experience even teaching tutorials, really. I had to learn all of it. And then I had to learn WordPress and how to integrate the two. And so really for a long time, I was like a one-man show at 2 a.m. And so that's kind of how it all started.
The dreaded 2 a.m. when you're like, I don't even care if it's a complete sentence here. Just hit publish. Just get it out the door.
Getting up in a couple hours, and we have to move on with life.
Okay, so talk to me about you started moving over to more of the makeup and the more of the hair. Why do you think that you stand out amongst the bajillion people that talk about makeup and hair? Like, why do you think your channel has exploded? Like, I see you on Instagram, your numbers are huge over there. Why? What is it? What is it that you do?
Well, you're sweet.
What's the truth? Go look at them.
I like struggle take. I'm like, thank you. Compliment. I think something that I really do focus on is connecting with people and solving people's problems in a way that makes sense to them. So I like to break things down. I like things to be simple. And I think this is kind of a tip, I guess, I have for anyone who has a passion about anything that they want to start selling or teaching online. It's think about the things that come natural to you, and like, why do you have an instinct in this way? Because other people don't have that instinct. And I think once I connected the dots there, that like, for me, it's always just made sense that I hold my hand like this instead of like this when I'm curling or, whatever. And to me, it's just an instinct. I'm like, because then your hair does this instead. And I just kind of like always had, it's just an inclination to do hair well, to do other people's hair well, to do all that stuff. And so I just started paying attention to those little things that were natural to me. And I started teaching people that. And it doesn't have to be really this like revolutionary concept. You don't have to like blow someone's mind. I could, like, with it, it can literally be like, hey, with a winged eyeliner, open your eye when you're drawing your wing, because then it helps you to, extend the line up, instead of when your eyes closed, you'll extend the line down and create like a drooping effect. It can literally be something that's like so simple like that I just figured out and then started teaching people in a way that will make so much more sense. And they're like, oh my gosh, I've never been able to do a wing until that one thing really clicked with me. So I think when you're selling something, or when you're personally passionate about something, it's really important to pay attention to those things that come naturally to you, because they don't come naturally to other people, and that's who you'll serve. Because the other people that it comes naturally to, you're not necessarily going to be teaching those people the same things that they already naturally know. And so you're looking for an audience that needs what you know. And I would look for that in someone else. If I wanted to learn something, I would go to someone that I felt like was naturally really good at it, that they could, help me with it. And so I think with beauty, those are the things that I love doing. I love teaching people how to curl their hair. And I never in a million years would have thought that I would almost build my entire business on a concept of curling your hair. I mean, it's literally like almost the most simple hairstyling technique, but I've taught millions. I mean, my videos have taught millions of people how to simply curl their hair. And so if I can touch people's lives by teaching them that, some people say that, beauty seems like a vain thing to think that you're impacting people's lives. But when you have confidence in your ability to do your hair, or that you feel like you look, your best, you just bring a different energy to your life. And so I don't think that it is something that's just vain or just surface level. And I think if there's that hesitation in your mind when you're selling something to someone, or when you believe in something, if you can come up with reservations as to why this is vain or whatever, there's an opposite story there too. Like this can affect someone's life, and that is powerful. And so anyway, that's kind of what beauty is for me. It's really transferring things that come naturally to me in a way that can bless people's lives, make it more simple for them, and make them bring their best self to their life.
Okay, you said two things that I absolutely love. You said what you teach people doesn't need to be mind-blowing. And how many times have we had a product and we're like, how can we blow people's minds and be the most creative and figure out how to get this to go viral, when actually it's the most simple things that people want and need, and a lot of those things go viral. And so I love that you said it does not need to be mind-blowing. And then when you have confidence, you show up in a different way. When you know you look good, you show up in a completely different way than when you haven't taken a shower for 2 days.
Right. Or even when you're like, I spent 20 minutes curling my hair and it doesn't even look good. And then you're just like, I guess I'm not good at this. And then you're like, not good. And you're starting your day just like weird, even if you took the time to do it. But if you could literally know that blow drying your roots and then letting your ends air dry would make the difference in your hair looking better for 3 days. It's not about how you curl it. It's about how you prep it. And it's like, just thinking like, oh, it's bigger than this like small thing right here. There's something else that's affecting the whole picture that you're not necessarily connecting until someone teaches you it, And so I try and say those things in my stories. I'm like, or in my tutorials, I'm just like, have you ever considered that maybe this is causing this? And people are like, what? No, never considered that, And I'm like, we have to back up. So when people are like, how do I get my hair to do X, Y, and Z? I'm like, okay, it's not about what styling tool you need. It's about what shampoo and conditioner you're using. And like, let's start there. Like what is your desired style? What type of hair do you have? We need to start from the beginning, because there's a process that will yield the best results. And so really it's just kind of breaking things down where people are like, I never knew that my shampoo could be the reason that my curls aren't holding. And so it really is those simple concepts that change people's lives and help them show up.
Okay, so how did you know? Because sometimes when you're just like, that just comes naturally. I hold my hand this way versus this way. How did you know and realize that was something that you could teach? Because I know sometimes a lot of stuff that we just do because it's habit, it's hard to pick out that we do something so unique.
It really is. So I feel like one of the best things, there's a couple different ways. For one, like if you do something well, I would just start talking yourself through when you're doing it. So if you're curling your hair and you know you curl your hair well, like, okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to hold my hand like this, and I'm going to grab the hair in this way. So if you have to verbalize every move you're taking, then you'll start understanding what parts of that would make sense to someone. And honestly, that's how you teach majority of the time. Like if you're doing something, just say everything you're doing and then people will understand it more. And then on the flip side, if you don't know you curl your hair well, like if this is like a general thing, like I wish I knew that I did something well, then ask your best friend or look at what do your siblings come to you for? What does your friend come to you for? Like what would they call you and be like, okay, I need help with this, and what are you like a resource for people? It literally could be something like the best brand of pickles that there is because they know that you love pickles so much. It can be something so simple. And to us, it can seem so ridiculous. We're like, nobody would want to know what the best pickles are. But like, if you can create a brand.
I love pickles.
I love pickles and I know the best brand. So I like, it would be fun to share that, And so it literally can be like, your friend is going to call you for a recipe for, hey, I came over the other day and I had the best bread there. Like what recipe do you use? And you can be like, okay, I love this recipe, but when you're doing this, make sure that this step is this instead or whatever, there's always going to be something that makes you better than why your friend can't look up online a recipe of bread. Why would she want your bread? So you can dissect like, okay, what would I do and why? And I'm going to tell people about that. Because
I love that. I love verbalizing every move in a tutorial. So it doesn't matter whether you're like talking about a pencil or talking about glasses that you're selling or earrings that you're selling. Like I put my earrings in this way. I start with the right one first because of X, Y, and Z. And then you start learning why you're separating yourself from everybody else. Oh, that is really good. That is really good. Okay. So
it makes it more engaging even. Like, if you're just going to be putting on glasses and earrings and you're like, hey, I'm going to put my glasses and earrings. And you're just like, what are they going to like engage with you? And you're like putting on these glasses, wearing the purple today because I'm feeling a little feisty, or whatever. You just like add something to it and people can clearly see your glasses are purple, but you chose that they're purple and you told them about it. So it just makes it a more engaging experience in general.
So good. Okay. So now, speed us up a little bit more. So you're starting to grow your brand. You're getting a lot of people following you. You're teaching about hair. You're teaching about makeup. Now speed us up to where you're at today.
So today I do a lot more kind of behind the scenes stuff now. I mentor and help a lot of women kind of build the same type of business that I did and teach them how to create those more these truths that serve your business and serve your life better than, oh, nobody would want to see this, or this is so vain. It's like, this is really actually helping people. So I help people kind of flip their mindset, and I do a lot more of that behind the scenes now. And then I still love making tutorials. I actually love live videos. I just feel like they are easiest for you to be yourself, and you just have to, you can't really hide who you are in a live video. I drop something literally every time. And I joke that there should be like a bingo board. Like I have lipstick on my teeth and I drop something every single video, and someone actually made me a bingo board, sent it in of like the things that they always see in my live videos. And so anyway, I know, it was like, it was so special. But I feel like when you're making those connections with people, you're literally creating relationships with people online, and they're very real, and you're very much so affecting and blessing people's lives, and they are very much so affecting and blessing mine and my family's. And so I don't know, for me up to speed right now, I just like creating things that I love. I don't really put too much, I guess I don't really care if something's like super perfect anymore. I think I had a hard time with that at the beginning. It had to be perfect, had to be concise and all that stuff. And I try and let that go a little bit more now. And anyway, I don't know. I'm just living my life.
Okay. So can we break those two things down that you said? You talked about that you're teaching others that their truth serves their life. Is that what you said? Will you dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So, I think mindset is honestly one of the most powerful things that we can all be working on day in and day out.
Amen to that.
I know you feel that way. You can literally have the best opportunity, the best product. You can be the best salesperson. But if you're not putting the time in every day to help your brain keep up with anything, then you're really going to max out at some point. And so I think that the thing that I try and focus on myself in my personal life is growth. And I think even more than like focusing on a goal, if you're focusing on growth, then you will always hit your goals, because growth is just progressive. It's never ending, and it's always going to bless your life, and it's always going to bless others. And a goal, honestly, a lot of times is just about you. And it's about, what are you trying to accomplish and what are you trying to do? And once you get to that goal, what does that even mean? Does that mean you stop? Do you have to set a new goal? Does that mean that goal wasn't worth achieving, And so I love goals, but I think making goals, but focusing on growth. And so it's all about like redirecting your brain and teaching your brain that growth is intentional, and that every day you have to show up, deciding to be a better version of yourself, deciding to change, like we said, your truth. So you just decide what your truth is every day. We all have things happening in our lives, and then we decide why they happen or what's going to happen after them. And so literally the power of your future is like in your hands. And so you can decide that this happened because of something negative that's going to tear you down and make you feel overwhelmed or less than. Or you can make the decision that this happened and now there's an opportunity here. And you can take that and grow with it. So
I can see why you have a huge following. That was so good. That was so good. We wake up.
From all the people I learned from. Thank you.
Yeah, we wake up and something happened, and we have two ways to look at it. Either it's a learning lesson, or we can go down this train of never-ending negativity, and we really get to choose which path we want to take. And some days it's hard. Some days you want to get on the train of negativity.
Most of the time, it's hard. I mean, I talk to you in those hard moments. I text you, I'm like, ugh. You can just send it back to me and be like, Savannah, you know what to do.
But I know we say that, but we have to be surrounded with people that can help us, because we can't do it on our own. Like there's so many times I reached out to you too, and I'm like, hey, what about this? And what about this? And having that close relationship with someone who understands what we're going through can help you grow dramatically. Like you have to have someone in your life to help you get through life, and especially business.
Yes. Like I would never text that to really anyone else. Like there's a lot of times when I'm like, I can trust Alison with this because I know she has the growth happening in her life. And so I know it'll be an opportunity where I can like hopefully rise to her level. And so there's a reason like I would connect with you on that, versus that I'm just trying to like complain about it in my life to whoever. Then they're going to be like, oh yeah, that totally sucks, and then we're just both like in this negative zone. And then we're like, yeah, we should just eat ice cream and watch a show, whereas me and you, I'm like going to bring something like that to you because it matters to me. And I value you so much, and you're always making me level up, always, every time. And so I would bring it to you, and it's almost like a trust situation. Like if I came to you with something like that, it's because I trust that growth will happen, and it's way more where I desire to be,
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I didn't mean to have this turn into praise Alison.
Too bad.
But I get it. Like I totally understand that when you do a specific thing, you can only ask specific people who are willing to get completely uncomfortable. The next thing that I want to talk about is confidence and how uncomfortable it is to build confidence. You know me, I'm an introvert. You've watched me step out into this online world, and then I look at you and you gracefully do it. And so to hear you say you struggled with confidence too, I think that is so great for everybody to hear, that anybody that's online has to go through these same things. We have to go through feeling uncomfortable. We have to go through feeling awkward. We have to go through all the steps so that we can learn what we're supposed to do. So will you talk about that process and how you felt okay to be imperfect and drop everything and have bingo cards created around you?
Honestly, it's really hard. And I'm very introverted too. So I actually feel like
you are? I didn't know that.
So the reason I love being online is because it actually doesn't require like me to be anywhere in person. So I can like do the things I love and affect the maximum number of people with like the minimal drain on my personal energy. And so I love that part, but honestly, it makes it hard for me to show up consistently because a lot of times I just feel like I just really want my time, like my time and my family. I don't want to share like every part of me. And I feel like I can't just be on all the time. You know, you get so tired and exhausted. But so I think a lot of the wanting to let go actually comes from like wanting to preserve my energy and my time so that my connections in person are more powerful. And I have that energy and that reserve for, you know, looking my children in the eyes and connecting with them and making that time with them matter. But as far as confidence goes, I think I spent 2 years thinking about starting to make tutorials online. 2 whole entire years. And like in the world of building an online business, 2 years of showing up consistently can like almost build an entire, I mean, that'll make you. And so as much as I showed up for thinking about that, if I would have just done it instead, then I would have built a business by the time I had actually started. And
Amen. Amen to that.
You just have to start, and you have to be okay with things not being perfect, because if you spend time, so imagine this, I tell this to my girls that I mentor, and I'm like, if you took the time to make a video today and then you felt uncomfortable about how your voice sounded, or you were like, oh, the lighting is not that great, or I just ramble, it's like way too long, then you're like, I'm not going to post it. Nobody would want to watch that. Then you not only, I mean, that's a selfish thing. Like you kept that from someone who might have learned from it, who might have connected, who might have been inspired by the imperfection in it, because people are inspired by imperfection. And so I'm like, you basically decided that people didn't deserve like what you had to give them, and people deserve what you have to give them. And it's a selfish thing to keep that from them. And not only that, but you took that time away from your family to make that video. You took that time away from yourself, that you could have been doing anything that would actually bless your life. And instead you chose to tell yourself the most damaging story, that this is not good enough and I'm not good enough. Therefore, nobody would like me. Therefore, I should just such and such. And you have now created like your truth, like we just talked about. You created a truth that like not only doesn't serve anyone, but it's damaging. And so instead, just take that video and say, I put time and effort into making this video, and I'm excited for the next time I get to try again. And next time, maybe I will make some notes for myself so that I can like for sure get the 3 things that I really wanted to say out. And I mean, I did that early on in my live videos. I would make notes, bullet points for myself, and I would tape them on, because I would just be like, and I'm like, okay, you need to say that I'll help you with makeup. You need to say, you can buy this makeup from me. You need to say, like, I will color match you, you know? Like, there's like these core things that have to be in your video, and you'll forget about them. And so if you are finding yourself creating these things that aren't actually serving your purpose, like evaluate that, and then next time you can change. But posted is always better than perfect. And I think that builds your confidence, because the more you can show up consistently, then you are forced to grow. Like you're forced. If you're still showing up, 100% guarantee you will get better. Like there's no doubt you'll get better, because that's what you do when you practice, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Posted is always better than perfect.
Always.
Not dwelling on the fact, like stopping those thoughts of, oh my gosh, that was so dumb. Why did I say that? I rambled. Letting go of that energy so you can focus on the next one and knowing that your next one is going to get better and better and better and better. All right. So now you're teaching people how to actually apply makeup and wear it and look really good. Not just okay, but like amazing. Highlight their beautiful features. It's not like caking it on, but highlighting their beautiful features. How do you sell that when you're doing your tutorial? Because sure, you're like, okay, brush up here or brush down here, but how do you sell along the way when you're applying people's makeup or your own makeup?
So I think a crucial element for me, and honestly, this is part of the confidence that we were just talking about too, is like having a product that you believe in so much. And so for me, I've seen this product transform my beauty routine, and I've seen it on hundreds and thousands of faces, and it literally brings them to life, and it makes people fall in love with their own face, which is such a different concept than I've ever seen with makeup. And so in all my years, my whole life doing makeup, brides, everything, they would be like, oh my gosh, my makeup's so beautiful. I wish I could redo this. Like, I wish I could like recreate this makeup look. But when I do people's faces with this makeup, they're like, oh my gosh, my nose looks amazing. Or they're like, oh, my eyes are just like, how did you make my cheekbones? Like, and so it's way less about this makeup looks amazing. And it's more like my face structure is so amazing. And I think watching that happen for so many people has been like liberating to me personally. The first time I was going to post a before and after on my page, it took me 2 days to post it. I like felt sick. I was like, people are going to see this picture of my face. And I like could not with it. And now, I mean, I like hop on and I'm like, no makeup on without a second thought, but I even posted I posted a picture before of me just with no makeup on. And I was like, oh my gosh, my freckles look awesome. Or, whatever. And it's not so much about like being arrogant or being like in love with yourself, but it's really appreciating that your face has individual and unique beauty. And so I think that's been my favorite part about selling makeup to people is that it's a journey of enhancing who they are. And they can have freckles and have a good experience with this. They can have rosacea and have a good experience with this. They can want to have like a chiseled contour and like glitzy highlight, and like we can just go there full glam. Or they can be like, I have 5 minutes and I just want to look put together. And I can say 5 minutes and you will completely come to life, And so it's versatile. It just works for everyone. So I don't have to teach people that what they are is not good enough. I have to teach people that yes, any goal that you have, I can help you get there. And in the process, you will fall in love with your face. Like when you take this makeup off, you will still see that you have an incredible nose, that you'll still see your cheekbones, and you'll be so excited for the next day when you know how to enhance your actual face.
I love it. I love it. Teaching the transformation. And that can go beyond or go to anything. Transforming an organizational closet if you're selling organizational stuff, or I don't know. There's so many things that you can teach through transformation, and you do it so well. And I love that it took you 2 hours before you could hit publish on that first post, because we've all felt it. We've all felt it.
Yes.
And it still gets nerve-wracking. Do you feel sometimes, I know you just talked about you like don't think about it, but are there times still that you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, or maybe I should take that down, or maybe I need to perfect that a little bit more? Or are you to the point where you're like, I really don't care?
Honestly, I've gone to the point where I don't watch my stuff back because I will feel that way. Like, and so I never rewatch my live videos ever. It just makes me feel so uncomfortable. And I'm like, why are people not mad right now? Like, get on with it, girl. And so I definitely feel that way, and I'll get really self-conscious, or I'll go to like something that we'll be doing well, and I'll go to maybe I should boost this or something. And I'll like watch 5 minutes of it and I'll be like, no way I'm boosting that. That's terrible. And so, yeah, a lot of times I don't think through things before I post them as much anymore. I just am like more in that habit of like, it needs to serve someone, and it needs to be worth the time I took away from my family for it. And so that balance has helped me hit post. But I'm still not at the point where I'm like, yep, everything is good. Everything is worth watching.
I love that you don't rewatch your videos. I don't either. I don't either. I feel
That
like
is my personal nightmare.
Because we're watching it in action right now. Like we can see our faces the whole time while we're doing live. That's good for me. That's good for me.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so back to teaching through transformation. And that's why you're setting yourself apart. It's not just, oh, look how long my eyelashes are. You talk about, look at the before, look at the after, look at you sweep them this way or sweep them that way, they're going to look thicker. So you're teaching through the process of the transformation. Okay, so now I messaged you a little while ago and I was like, Savannah, help. I moved to Puerto Rico. Makeup does not stay on my face here in Puerto Rico. It just kind of melts off. You color matched my skin. I took like the most vulnerable picture. It was when I was traveling back home and I had to stand in front of an airport blue window. It was just interesting. Sent you the picture and you said, oh, your skin's amazing. And I was like, I like Savannah. Thank you. And you sent me a whole bunch of stuff and I dug into it and I was watching your videos on how to apply it. And ever since I've been wearing your makeup, I constantly get compliments. And I want to talk about how this is what you do. You help people color match to feel confident in their makeup and your systems behind that. So I feel like I got the white glove Savannah experience, but this is what you do on a daily basis. This is you give the white glove. And so anybody that's listening that wants to be able to do white glove for their customers, listen to how Savannah does this for her makeup customers, which by the way, yes, we will give you a link on where you can get all the makeup and find out all the stuff with Savannah. But tell us the process of like when people come and ask for a color match, and then tell us a little bit the business side, the behind the scenes on how you actually make it happen.
Cool. So color matching is something that is very dear to my heart. And as many people know, as a business grows, you just have to hire help. Like you have to outsource some things, and color matching is something that I've never outsourced. And I literally look at every single person's face that comes in, and I genuinely do feel like there's something about every photo that stands out to me. So like, I still remember your photo, you sent it and you just had this glowing, beautiful tan and your freckles were just popping. And I was like, literally, how are you so beautiful? Just like, here with no makeup on in the airport traveling. I'm like, I should be so lucky.
We're friends, Savannah. This is why we're friends.
That's no joke, like 100% the feeling I have in this photo, And so it is a requirement that people send me a makeup free photo, like in good lighting. Like I want to see if you have red circles. I want to see if you have dark under eyes. That's how I provide the best personalized match. Like, this is not a situation where I say, oh yeah, you're like a light shade, This is a situation where I'm literally like, okay, at this point on your face, you're going to need this color. And at this point on your face, you're going to need this color. And if you apply it in this way, it will have the best texture on your skin and it'll wear the longest and you'll use the least amount of product. And so honestly, I'm like tailoring this to your experience so that you have the best experience with this makeup in general, with me as your consultant, and then with you just wearing this day to day with your experience with yourself, because that brings an energy. So if I bring that energy into your photo and your color match, you are going to feel that energy from me. Therefore, you're going to feel supported, and hopefully you're going to feel more confident in your purchase, and then you're going to feel connected. And from then on, people can, reach out like, hey, I got this in and it's actually not setting well. And I'm like, oh, try this brush instead. Or, oh, actually, you're going to flip those colors, because that color is supposed to be here instead. And they're like, oh, that little thing made such a difference. But I'm literally like invested in that experience with someone because it matters to me that they are connected to me for life. And so once I establish a relationship with someone, I don't want them to ever feel like I'm just some person online who wants to make a sale. I want them to feel like I do care about them, because I do. And I'm grateful for them because their support of me provides for my family. And it provides an opportunity for me to keep doing this thing that I love for so many more people. And so it really is like an energy that I try and bring into it, and then a system that I follow where they feel personally cared for. And then they always know they can reach out to me. I mean, I literally walk them through the whole process. And so that's a big part of what I personally keep on my plate.
Okay, but you talk about that, and we're all like, "Oh, give us Savannah," right? We all want the Savannah touch. But logistically, how do you handle it all? Because it's not like you serve 5 people. How do you handle these thousands and thousands of women that come through your door, your online door?
Yeah, you have to set up automations where you can. Automations are like crucial for so many things. So if there's an automation that can happen where instead of someone just messaging me and saying, these are my concerns about my face, and sending a photo, and then me dissecting their concerns, having to answer that, and then also color matching them, if instead I just say, you just submit a photo to me through this link, or you go through this color match quiz that I personally created, if you want a more immediate answer, And so I create an automation for those who want a specific thing. And then if they want me to personally color match, then they go through my automation. That cuts down like so much time and communication. And then I can go through and I can say, these people are these specific things, and I can mark it all up or whatever. And then I can have an assistant actually go in and populate those like responses to people. And then when they reply, that's all I'm dealing with. Is the personal times. So there can be like an automation heading into it, and then I can have that personal time with them, and then there can be an automation going out, and then there can be more personal attention after that.
So what are the technology pieces that you use to be able to collect pictures so you don't get a Gmail inbox full of a whole bunch of random faces? Like, how do you keep that all organized?
So I'm actually looking into some other options right now. So I have been using, I use a Wufoo form, and then it connects through Zapier to Trello, and then to ConvertKit. So it's creating an account for everyone at the same time, like in all those places. And so then Trello is easy for me to track who's been talked to, who's been touched, and so I can like move them over. I know who needs to still be matched, who's been matched, whose email wasn't correct that, sent that in. And so there's different ways that I can kind of sort and organize people from there. And then we can go through and like send follow-up responses through a ConvertKit process.
Nice. Go ahead.
I'm switching a lot of those, but for now, for the last few years, that's not working.
What are you going to switch to? Do you know?
I was going to switch to FileMaker, but I haven't set that up yet. And so I don't really know yet. I think I'll do JotForm for the intake form because I want a little bit more information from them. And I want a little bit more like style creativity. My Wufoo form's pretty basic. And so I want to know at this point where it's been years in, I want to know, have I matched you before? Like, what's our relationship, heading into just having a photo of you in front of me? Like, is this, you had summer colors and now you want winter colors, because that's a different, again, I want to personalize that experience. So that's a different response. You don't need to know the whole rundown. You just need to know, I think I would adjust your amber to aura as you head into the new time. Or, hey, girl, the lighter color you already have will actually work now for your darker color. And you just need to add one more to it. So it makes it so, like, I want them to know I'm not just trying to sell them a bunch more makeup. Like, no, this actually is awesome because you can like flip flop between that one, and you only have to just take that one color out of your compact and put this one in. And then it's serving their life. Like that's where people become lifers.
Yeah. Now, when you're talking, if anybody's listening to this right now, I hope you're hearing why Savannah is so successful, because she serves first. She serves so much and doesn't think about the money first. She thinks about how can I get you the best looking makeup for your skin, and then the money follows. That's how sales work over and over again. It's not about, I mean, what if you went out, Savannah, and you're like, okay, this palette of makeup is $39 and it's going to make you look great. Buy it. Do you think anybody's going to buy it? No, because you haven't gone out there with service.
Like, what? What is it? What do I do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I know it works for me? How can I trust that? Yeah. You have to build trust with them.
I love it. And I love how you're working with so many thousands of women, but yet you're like, nope, I want this personalization piece because I care for these people. I want to know at the end of the day, they're going to feel confident when they put the makeup on. And I think that is a lost art. I mean, you go to Amazon and you just feel like a number. You feel like nobody cares about you. It's because they don't, right? They're so big, they don't even care. But you're so big and you still care. And you're able to add that personalization piece, which is so refreshing. Savannah. Yeah.
I think for me, I want to know at the end of the day that I'm being honest. And like, I think people feel your integrity. And so I want to say confidently on a live video, I will personally look at your face and I will help you. And if I know I'm not going to personally look at your face or help you, how can I tell someone like that they can trust me, you know? So I have to leave certain parts of my business. Like I have to leave the integrity of my business intact always. Because that's, you're bringing an energy to every conversation, whether it's online, in a text message, in person, you bring an energy and people will feel it. You can say the same words and you can bring an energy of like integrity and service to it. And they will just be like, yeah, I'm open to this. And you can send the same message and be like, they're not going to like it. They're going to hate me. They're going to like read this wrong. And they're going to be like, something about this message makes me uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but I'm good. And it can literally be the same thing. And so I want people to feel that I genuinely am telling them the truth, you know? And so I have to keep certain parts of my business intact so that I can always have that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So talking to new entrepreneurs, let's give 3 pieces of advice you have for new entrepreneurs.
Oh my gosh.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I think that you have to put your passion first, not the money first. That was one thing that a friend of mine told me very early on. And he said, this will be a really long, hard road. And if you won't show up for what you're doing for free, even in the hardest times, then the money will never be worth it. And I think that was that I've thought about that often as I was 20 hours deep into editing a video and 2 a.m. and driving to my brother's house. And I thought, I'm passionate about bringing this to the world. And if it pays me, then it pays me. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So I think it's hard when you're starting a business because you're clearly starting a business to make an income. But I think you have to have some aspect of your business that your passion drives more than anything. And then I would say consistency.
Yes.
Will do everything for you.
Yes.
However, that goes along with my third piece of advice. And if the action is all there, then 100% of the time that I've seen in people's lives and I've seen in my own life, if the action is there and the results aren't coming, it's your mindset. You don't believe in what you're doing. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your product. You don't believe in your customers. You don't believe in some aspect of this journey and this process. And you're telling yourself a truth that's not serving you. And so I think that, like we talked about, you have to be focusing on that growth. You have to be building your mindset and you have to be building truths that serve you every single day. And then your actions will always be worth it. So good.
So good. Okay. Then can I put you on the spot for 2 more?
Of course.
Number 1 makeup tip and number 1 hair tip. Because everybody's going to look at this video or go over and look at your Instagram and be like, wait a second, how do I get that hair? How do I get that makeup?
Okay. The best thing you can do for hair health is care for your scalp correctly. So your hair comes out of your follicles in your scalp. And if your scalp is not exfoliated properly, if you are not washing it correctly and stuff like that, if you don't have your natural oils that are helping your hair, all of those things, your scalp is where the hair has the best chance of being healthy. So I'd say number 1 is care for your scalp. I teach about that a lot. I teach about scalp treatments and wash your hair with the pads of your fingers, stuff like that. Like be gentle on your scalp, but you need to get in there with a scalp treatment every now and then. So, and then number one makeup tip, that one's super hard. Number one makeup tip is maybe more of a concept. I feel like for a lot of time, there's all these like, what's your face shape? And then here's how to make your face shape more ideal. So there's like, okay, say you have a square face, you can contour this so that you look more oval. And that bugs me so much because the best thing you can do for yourself and your makeup routine is work with your structure of your face versus trying to make your face shape something else by changing it. It's touch your face. Okay, I have a bone right here. This is my cheekbone. Therefore, my contour is going to go right up underneath my cheekbone. I don't need to know if my contour needs to go up higher or lower so that I look like someone else. All I need to know is where's my cheekbone? That's going to make the most impact for my face. So learning your face structure and then working with your face structure instead of worrying about what other people look like or what the ideal thing is to look like or any of that stuff. It's you are perfect how you are, and there are ways to enhance the beauty that you already have.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Savanah, you're amazing. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Savanah Polsen and Facebook at Bold Beautiful Life and online at savannahpolsen.com.
Woo-hoo. And where can they do? Oh, no, we have a link for the color matching. And that's because I can life.com/makeup. And Savanah will look at your skin and tell you what colors you need. She's amazing. I trust her with my skin. Thank you, Savanah. Thank you. All right. Are you so excited to go get your color match? I know. It's like the best thing ever because you don't have to overthink it and you don't have to wonder, like she just does it all for you. So the link is because I can life.com/makeup. And that's going to shoot you over to where Savanah can help serve you to make you look like the hot rock star that you are. All right, let's dig into the top takeaways from Savanah's interview today. Number one, teach the transformation. Now, if you're like, Alison, I don't teach makeup. I don't teach hair. Okay, think about the transformation that your product can give. Are you selling some organizational tool? Can you talk about the transformation there? Or what about some bakery tool? Use another one that's not as good and look at the difference between the two. Think about how your product transforms your customers' lives and start teaching that. The second one, totally agree with this one. Don't rewatch your videos. You're just going to get in your head and you're going to think of all of the things that you did wrong. And guess what? Your audience doesn't even know you did it wrong. You're the only one. So don't rewatch it. Number three, invest in the experience with your customers. How many times have you felt love from a small business owner? And then let's contrast that to Amazon. How many times have you felt love from Amazon? Probably zero, right? How can you give the experience to your customer and be there for them? Number four, look at the truths that serve your life. Are they truth? Are they false? And then you're just making that stuff up? Look at the truths that serve your life. Number five, make goals that focus on growth. And then know that growth is always progressive. So once you get there, guess what? You're going to have something else that you want to get to. That's how growth works. Number six, oh, I love this one. Post it. How many times have you thought about posting something or you actually did post it and then hit delete because you didn't think it was good enough? Stop being selfish. I loved how she said that. Your work, your writing, your pictures are good. Get it out there. Do you need to improve? Everybody needs to improve. Just get started. Don't hold back. Get out there to the world. Number seven, be excited for the next time that you get to try it again. Did Facebook Live not go as well as you wanted to? Did something else not go as well as you wanted to? That's okay. It happens. Now get out there and be excited and do it again. Number eight. Oh, I thought this was so good. What you teach does not need to be mind-blowing. Just verbalize every move when you make a tutorial, because some of the things that you do, you might not even notice. When she was talking about how she holds her hand, she's just done it her whole life. But when she started verbalizing it, she realized that she was educating her followers that didn't know how to exactly hold their hand when curling their hair. Number 9, solve problems by breaking it down. You don't need to be complex. No one likes complex things. Keep it really simple, really simple. And then number 10, loved this one. Pay attention to the natural things that you are good at. Sometimes we don't notice that because it's just natural to us. We think everybody should have the same thing, when in fact they really don't. So start paying attention to those little things that are making you unique. That is the reason why you're going to connect with your future customers, is because they want you exactly how you are, not the fake version of what you think you need to become. You are given your gifts for a reason. You are given your face, your hair, your structure, everything, because it connects with people. Don't be afraid to be you. Get out there, go serve the world, make that money, put it in your pocket where it belongs. Why? Because you can. And because I know you're going to do good things with it. All right. I hope you loved this episode. Don't forget to rate, review, all those good things, because it helps this podcast get shown to the world. And we really appreciate it. All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.